Hello, how's everyone doing tonight? Alright, so yeah, obviously, I don't know what this is for, so I'll just get straight into it. Now, beats has always been something that I've been fascinated with. Now, I remember what first got me like really intrigued by them was hearing lo-fi beats. It wasn't, let me set it straight. It wasn't none of this pitter-patter bullshit, none of this lo-fi beats to study to, you know, lo-fi beats to relax to. It was initially when they were blowing up, when that shit started blowing up in like 2016. And yeah, that's initially what got me. Another thing that got me interested in the creation of beats was hearing old New York beats, that boom bap. Now, if you don't know what boom bap is, it's just think of how old New York beats, how some of Biggie's old stuff sounded, how Tribe Called Quest sounds, how Mobb Deep, how Nas sounds, how their old beats sounded, like New York State of Mind, Can I Kick It, Bonita Applebum. Those tracks is boom bap, is that boom bap style, what I would say, at least what I would classify as that boom bap style. So yeah, that's what got me intrigued, that's what got me into wanting to create beats. So now that that's out of the way, I'll get into how I make a beat, how I would make a beat. So first, I'll look for a sample. Now, if you don't know what a sample is, it's the reuse of a portion of a sound recording in another recording. Now, samples will have elements such as rhythm, melody, speech, and sound effects. Now, what you can sample other music, or you can sample cartoons, TV shows, you can literally sample anything. Yeah, as long as you can record it, basically, that's a sample. You can create a sample. Now, what you can manipulate a sample in a few ways. So first is chopping it. Now, chopping it, you would typically you have the whole track that you've selected to sample. Now, let's say it's a jazz track. You'll pick bits and pieces throughout the track, and you'll kind of Frankenstein them all together to make this whole new sound. Another technique you can use is just looping. Now, I've talked about this before, but looping it's just a specific section out of this big section. It's not how chopping is. With chopping, you're picking and choosing from throughout the whole song. Now, looping, you're just picking from one or two sections of the song. So you have a section right here, and you'll just loop it. It'll start over and over again. And to create a perfect loop, you don't want it to be like choppy. Basically, when it's chopped, you'll know. You'll be able to notice if it's chopped. I mean, typically it all plays into each other. Typically, when you chop up something, you'll end up looping it anyways. So yeah, it all basically just plays into each other. So once you've either chopped and or found a section that you've looped, you can either pitch it down, pitch it up, slow it down, speed it up, and I'm pretty sure that those are all the ways you can manipulate a sample. Like I said before, you can sample pretty much anything. What I like to go for personally is I like to sample old jazz tracks, old R&B, and ethereal sounding music. So once I find the sample and do everything that I need, next comes the drums. Now, with the drums, you don't want to be paying for no drums. You know what I'm saying? I don't be paying for no drums. Now, where you'll typically find, you know, your drum noises, you can make your own. You can sample your own drum noises by going to a physical drum kit, playing each individual part of a drum, if that makes up, of a drum set, and then like record it and put it into your computer. Or you can go online and buy a drum kit. Now, me personally, I'm not making any money, so I'm not trying to spend no money, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just trying to get everything for free. So I'm about to give y'all that $1 billion worth of game for free. So what I like to do personally is I will download free drum kits off of Reddit. And no, at least to my knowledge, I have not installed any malware onto my hard drive. Alright, so what comes in a drum kit is obviously drum noises, sound effects, and sometimes even samples. Sometimes the people who create these drum kits will put their own samples and loops into it. Sometimes I'll use them, but usually I won't, just because, you know, I like to find my own samples. I like to, you know, add my own flavor into it. I don't want to add what someone else has already done, you know. You want to add your own flavor into the sauce, you know. Now, after you have your sample and you have your drums, you know, you combine the two. You combine these two elements, and now you have a beat. Obviously, I didn't go into laying out the drums because that depends on how you'll lay out the drums, depends on the sample you choose, and I'm not really going to get into all of that because I don't really have the time. I'm trying to work inside of a certain time frame, so yeah, I'm not really going to get into all of that. But yeah, once you have both of these elements, you combine them Look at you combine them. Ooh, and now you have a beat. After you combine these two, there's one more thing you have to do before it is complete. And that is mixing. Now, admittedly, I've only recently started mixing my beats about a few months ago, so I'm not really that good at it. Now, at least when I'm mixing, I like to have, so this is the sample and these are the drums, all the drum noises. I like to put the drums like a little bit higher than the sample, because you don't want the sample too high because then it overpowers the drums. You won't be able to really hear the drums, but you don't want the drums too high because you don't want it to be overpowering the sample. You just want it a little bit, just nudged up a little bit to where the drums pop out but you can still hear the sample good, you know. But yeah, that is all I really got to say.